Greetings for the day. Dear friends and colleagues, today we are going to deliberate on one of the most discussed topic, that is G20 Delhi Declaration. Total world had eye on India on the event which took place in New Delhi. So the declaration was called as G20 Delhi Declaration. But as a student of environment, today we are going to only focus on the sustainable development goals, especially the SDG 7, that is affordable and clean energy, and SDG 13, that is climate change. So this is the official logo, that is Bharat 2023 India G20 New Delhi Declaration, how it is aligned to SDG. So total 17 points were covered under this SDG declaration, that is SDG 1 no poverty, SDG 2 zero hunger, SDG 3 good health and well-being, SDG 4 quality education, SDG 5 gender inequality, SDG 6 clean water and sanitation, SDG 7 affordable and clean energy, which we are going to see, SDG 8 decent work and economic growth, SDG 9 industry innovation and infrastructure, SDG 10 reduce inequalities, SDG 11 sustainable cities and communities, SDG 12 responsible production and consumption, SDG 13 climate change, which we are going to see, SDG 14 life below water, SDG 15 life on land, SDG 16 peace, justice and strong institution, and final SDG 17 partnership for goals. So now we are going to see the SDG 7, that is affordable and clean energy. So under this, what is discussed, we will see. So G20 commits to working towards and facilitating access to low cost financing for developing countries. And it says that how low financing can be done to the developing countries for achieving the G20 commits on affordable and clean energy. It says for existing as well as new and emerging clean and sustainable energy technologies, and for supporting the energy transition. So it is clear that it supports existing as well as emerging clean sustainable energy technologies and supporting the energy transitions. It also says that this can help to promote affordable and clean energy by ensuring that developing countries have access to the necessary financing to invest in clean energy technology. So it says that whatever the investment has to be done to developing countries to adopt for the technology change, so it has to be affordable. Second, and accessible. Second, G20 commits to pursuing and encouraging efforts to triple renewable energy capacity globally through existing target and policies, as well as demonstrate similar ambition with respect to other zero and low emission technologies, including abatement and removal technologies in line with national circumstances by 2030. This can help to promote affordable and clean energy by increasing the share of renewable energy in global energy mix. So the gist of this is that they are saying that you have to more focus on the renewable energy. You have to triple it. Renewable like solar energy, wind energy. So mostly they are talking about the solar energy and how the technologies can be exchanged between the countries. They also says that you have to target to make the major change switchover, that is transition, up to the 2030 deadline. Then it says that the G20 supports the acceleration of production, utilization, as well as the development of transparent and resilient global markets for hydrogen produced from zero and low emission sources. This can help to promote affordable and clean energy by supporting the development of hydrogen as a clean source energy. This is very important. Already we are talking about the climate change and clean energies like no, renewable energies. Now it says that you have to accelerate for production and utilization of the technologies like hydrogen. So you have to switch over to the hydrogen related technologies. Then under SDG 13, the climate action says the G20 notes with concern that global ambition and implementation to address climate change remain insufficient to achieve the temperature goal of Paris Agreement. This highlights the need for increased ambition and action to address the climate change. It says that whatever the deadlines were discussed in the Paris Agreement has not been successfully achieved, and hence the G20 notes that it is a concern for all the countries, and you have to address and you have to achieve the temperature goal which was set in the Paris Agreement. Next, the G20 recognizes the importance of ambition action on all pillars of Paris Agreement, taking into account the best available science. This can help to promote climate action by ensuring that efforts to address climate change are based on latest scientific technology. So here again it speaks about the failure or not failure, but not the goals which were achieved of all pillars discussed in the Paris Agreement, and we have to reinforce to achieve the same. Then G20 recognizes that limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade requires rapid, deep, and sustained reduction in global greenhouse gas emission by 43% of 2030 relative to the 2019 level. This highlights the need for urgent and ambitious action to reduce greenhouse gases. This is very important declaration. It says that if at all the countries or all the world has to take the target to limit the rise in global temperature below 1.5 degrees, so what has to be done? You have to restrict the greenhouse gas emission by 43% of the levels that were baseline identified in 2019. So whatever the 2019 levels were identified as a base value, that you have to reduce by 43% by the year 2030. So this was one of the SDG 30 climate change declaration. Then G20 recognizes the importance of international dialogue and cooperation, including in the areas finance and technology, and timely policy action consistent with country-specific circumstances. This can help to promote climate action by ensuring that countries have necessary resources and support to implement climate policies and reduce greenhouse gases. It speaks that there should be an harmonization between the underdeveloped countries, developed countries, and developing countries, and there should be a proper dialogue and cooperation, and to exchange the finance and technology to support the policies under the climate change and reduction of greenhouse gases emissions. The G20 endorses the G20 report on macroeconomics risks stemming from climate change and transition pathways, and commits to considering further work on macroeconomics implications of climate change and transition policies, particularly as relevant for fiscal and monetary policies. This can help to promote climate action by ensuring that macroeconomics implication of climate change and transition policies are taken into account in policy making. So here again it mentions that each country has to imbibe in them in the policy making decisions to consider macroeconomics and implication on the climate change. So you have to keep in during the decision making, you have to make the climate change and one of the topic, and according to macroeconomics should be decided. Thank you very much for patient listening, and keep on watching my videos and subscribing the video. Thank you very much.